Well, touting for business as the ratings agency clock ticks. President Ramaphosa has just addressed the second investment summit in Sandton here in Johannesburg, and we carry that live on the channel. The rest of the speakers list is a veritable who's who of business and government, including the likes of the head of Coca-Cola South Africa, the man who heads up Anglo-American, as well as the chief executive officer of the country's biggest private media conglomerate. So how was that speech received? Devin Murrigan is there, along with Ehsan Musa, who is the financial director of Komatsu Africa Holdings. Devin, what's the general sense then after the speech, which was very upbeat? The president saying that it should be a day of contact leading to contract.
Yes, indeed, Jeremy. And he did mention that this was no talk shop. Look, as we speak, there are companies being flashed on the screen in the plenary and putting forward the big amounts that we want to see in terms of their pledges ahead for investment in this country. I want to bring in someone now who has invested last year, 1 year ago, when we had that 290 billion rand total of investment coming in, and that is the Japanese company Komatsu, and the financial director Ehsan Musa from Komatsu Africa Holdings is with us. Ehsan, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. So you guys went ahead last year, you made this 960 or thereabout billion rand investment, and you are seeing the fruits of that at the moment. In fact, your video played not so long ago when the president spoke as evidence that things are happening. It was quite, I think, pleasing on the eye to see that you guys are putting the factory up, are putting the learning center up, and good news as far as your company is concerned.
Yes, thank you, Devin. Komatsu made its commitment to invest in South Africa in a downward circle, and this shows Komatsu's in South Africa is willing to invest even though the market was down. The construction and mining industry, it's still down. We're reliant on the construction and mining industry, but this investment is being made for the future, for our people. The parts distribution center was the first phase that was completed. Last year, towards the end of last year, we completed the workshops, we completed our state-of-the-art training center, we completed our head office, and we're now in phase 3, as you've seen from the video that the minister showed. 300 million rand for the reman investment. That's our remanufacturers center, and that's the hub of our business going forward.
Why did you continue putting, brick on cement when we had the Eskom lights out situation in this country? We saw growth that's virtually non-existent at 0.5%. What makes a company like yours say, well, you know what, we're still going to go ahead with our projects?
If you look at what the president said in his speech, the future is in Africa. And Komatsu recognizes that there's potential and opportunity in Africa. And doing this investment is investing for the future, not only for South Africa, but the Southern Africa regions. We have the potential to remanufacture, export into our territories we operate, Botswana, Zambia, Namibia, Mozambique, as well as the rest of Africa, where Komatsu has various dealers across the rest of Africa that we can export into as well.
What are you expecting to hear from government delegates from South Africa this afternoon? Of course, you'd like to extend what you are doing. Undoubtedly, there are barriers. I mentioned a few. We've got electricity, we've got low growth, there are perhaps even water challenges. Surely there are some things you want to sort of hear from government in terms of how they're tackling those barriers this afternoon.
I think barriers of entry that the president spoke about, there has been an obstacle for small business, and it's an opportunity to grow small businesses in South Africa. To hear that it used to take so long to set up a business versus now with the portals that are being created in terms of getting water permits, 3 years to 3 months. These are the good positive things that are coming out from government in terms of what's being done to start simulating this economy, getting this economy going. We obviously want to see that the construction and mining industry stabilizes and there's infrastructure spend that will help the construction industry, and ultimately that will boost our business and help us to support and reap the rewards of our investment in South Africa.
I'd like to ask a big question to a big investor like you. Are you ever concerned about ratings agencies and what they say about us? We're on the cusp of investment grade or sub-investment grade with Moody's. Obviously, you were watching their announcement over the weekend. Does that concern a company like yours?
It has to concern any company in operating in South Africa. Going into junk status ultimately can affect your borrowing rates, the cost of debt that you're going to borrow at. But at the end of the day, I think we must have this positive portrayal as well, that things are being done in the background and things will start to turn in this economy, and we as Komatsu have the confidence that this economy will turn and we will go back to where we need to be in this country.
All right, thanks very much indeed, Jeremy. There you have it from one investor there, Ihsan Musa, the financial director of Komatsu Africa Holdings. I mean, look, the barriers are there. The low growth situation may be depressing, but there is a future in terms of, let's call it output or return in this country, so says this particular investment candidate.